Today, we're tackling one of the most exciting challenges for any founder. How do you take that brilliant idea buzzing around in your head and turn it into something real? Something you can actually build? Well, we're going to lay out a roadmap for it. So you have it. That spark, that light bulb moment, the big idea that feels like it could really change things. It's an amazing feeling, isn't it? But then, what's next? That initial jolt of excitement can fade pretty fast, and suddenly you're just staring into this dense fog, not sure which way to turn. So let's clear that fog by building a map. First, we'll talk about why you even need a map in the first place. Then we'll build it piece by piece. We'll start with your vision, that's your destination. Then your mission and value, that's the why of your journey. After that, we'll set some goals, which are the milestones along the way, and finally, we'll talk about how to use this as a living, breathing guide. Okay, let's get into it. Section 1. Your idea needs a map. You've probably heard the saying, an idea without a plan is just a wish. And honestly, it's true. This is where we stop wishing and start turning that abstract spark into a clear direction that you and your future team can actually get behind and follow. So, what are the components of this map? Well, it really boils down to 4 key things. You need a powerful vision for the future, a clear mission for what you're doing today, a killer value proposition that explains why customers should care, and of course, concrete goals to guide your actions. These aren't just corporate buzzwords. They are the fundamental tools for giving your new venture purpose and direction. Let's start with the first and biggest piece of the puzzle. Section 2, Vision, your North Star. This is all about the long term, the big picture. It's about clearly defining that ultimate destination you're sailing towards, the future you're trying to bring to life. So what is a vision, really? Well, it's a short, punchy description of what the world looks like 5 or 10 years from now because your venture succeeded. It's called your North Star for a reason. You might not ever technically reach it, but it's always there on the horizon, keeping you pointed in the right direction, especially when you have to make tough choices. Just look at IKEA's vision to create a better everyday life for the many people. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's not about selling the most furniture. It's about accessibility, affordability, and improving lives. And that vision drives everything they do, from their flat-pack designs to their store layouts. It's their reason for being. Or how about Google? To organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That is a perfect directional anchor. It tells you exactly why they build products like Search, Maps, and Translate. And you know what? It also tells you why they probably won't start making toasters. It provides razor-sharp focus. Okay, so if vision is where you're going, this next part is all about why the journey even matters. Let's talk about Section 3, Mission and Value, or the why. This is where you explain your purpose for existing today, and just as important, why your customers should care. Now, your mission statement is way more grounded than your vision. It's practical, it answers 3 key questions. Why do we exist right now? Who are we here to serve? And what core value are we giving them? This becomes the bedrock for your day-to-day strategy and all your operations. You know, people mix these two up constantly, so let's make it super clear. Vision is about the future. It asks, where are we going? Mission is about the present. It asks, why do we exist? Think of it this way. Vision is the destination on the map. Mission is the purpose of the ship on its journey today. Okay, now let's get really practical with your value proposition. This is your promise to your customer, and this template right here is an incredible tool. It literally forces you to answer the most important questions. Who exactly are you building this for? What specific problem do they have? What do you offer, and what benefits does it deliver? And crucially, how are you different and better than all the other options out there? So we have our destination and our purpose. But how do we actually start moving forward? That brings us to Section 4. Goals or actionable milestones. This is where the rubber meets the road, where we translate all those big, inspiring ideas into concrete, trackable steps that guide what you do every single day. And the absolute best way to set goals is by using the SMART framework. There's a reason everyone talks about this. It's because it works. It's a simple checklist to make sure every goal you set is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to your overall mission, and time-bound, meaning it has a deadline. This is how you get rid of vague wishes and create a real plan. And just look at the difference this makes. The vague goal is something like, increase our customer base. Okay, how? By how much? A SMART goal is, acquire 500 paying customers in our main city within 12 months and keep 40% of them after 3 months. See that? One is a hope, the other is a plan you can actually execute and measure. And here's a pro tip. Don't just focus on the money. Yes, financial goals are absolutely essential, but a truly great company is about balance. You also need to set goals for your customer impact, for your product development, and for the health of your team. This is what keeps you anchored to your mission and builds something that lasts. All right, let's bring it all home. Section 5, your living roadmap. I say living because this map we've just built isn't some dusty document you write once and then shove in a drawer. It's a dynamic, active guide that will help you navigate the wild journey ahead. And to help you navigate, let's quickly cover a few common traps to avoid. First, vague statements like, "We want to be the best." They're meaningless. Be specific. Don't overpromise things you can't deliver. Make sure your actions actually line up with your mission. And this is a big one. Avoid goal overload. A handful of clear priorities is way more powerful than a laundry list of 20 things that just dilutes everyone's focus. But if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Building your roadmap is not a one-and-done exercise. It's the start of an ongoing conversation. It's a constant dialogue about your company's purpose and direction. As your venture learns and grows, you have to come back to this map and refine it. It's a living system. At the end of the day, this framework gives you a map. It gives you clarity, it gives you focus, it gives your team a shared direction. But you have to remember, a map is just a guide, it's not a cage. It's there to empower you on your journey, not to restrict you. So, the only real question left is, where are you going to let it take you?
You've got that brilliant idea, right? But how do you actually turn that spark into something real, something with impact? Well, today, we're building the blueprint for exactly that. We're going to take your idea from just the thought to an actual, actionable plan. Let's get into it.
That feeling. It's something special, isn't it? You see a problem out in the world, a gap in the market, and suddenly, bam, a solution just clicks in your head. It's so exciting. You feel like you're onto something huge. And honestly, you probably are.
But okay, let's get real for a sec. An idea, no matter how incredible it is really just the starting point. It's the spark, not the fire. The real work, the hard part, is turning that spark into a flame that can actually grow and keep itself going.
And that's exactly what this framework is for. Think of it like the operating system for your entire venture. It's what gives you direction for your big picture strategy and your day-to-day decisions, turning that amazing idea into something tangible.
All right, so first up, we have to start at the highest level, your vision. And this isn't some fluffy corporate speak statement, okay? This is your North Star. It's what's going to guide your entire journey.
So what is a vision, really? Well, it's a picture of the future that you're trying to build. It answers one simple question. If we succeed beyond our wildest dreams, what will the world actually look like because of us in, say, 5 or 10 years? It should be ambitious, maybe even a little idealized, but it has to feel believable.
You know, a really powerful vision isn't just some vague wish. It has 4 key ingredients. First, it's got to be future-oriented, describing a world that doesn't exist yet. It needs to be super clear and vivid, something people can picture in their minds. It also has to be meaningful, not just for you and your team, but for your customers too. And finally, keep it brief. It has to be short enough for everyone to remember and repeat easily.
Just look at IKEA's vision. It's perfect. To create a better everyday life for the many people. See, it's not about selling flat-pack furniture. It's about a future state, a better everyday life. It's broad, it's meaningful, and you get their purpose instantly. It's a great example of how a vision can be both simple and incredibly powerful.
And this is the whole point. Your vision acts as your compass, your North Star. When you get to a fork in the road and you have to make a tough choice, which market to enter, which feature to build next, you just look up at your North Star and ask, Which path gets us closer to that future we want to create?
Now hang on, because this is a step that so many founders just skip. You have this big vision for your company, but what about for your own life? Seriously, if you want a flexible, work-from-anywhere lifestyle, but your venture needs a huge physical in-person operation, well, you're just setting yourself up for a world of pain. Making sure these two visions align is absolutely key to your long-term happiness.
Okay, so our North Star is set. Now it's time to come back down to earth and build the foundation. That brings us to Section 2, your mission, and, crucially, your customer value.
If your vision is all about the future, your mission is all about the present. It's the practical, boots-on-the-ground reason your company exists today. It defines what you do, who you do it for, and the core value you provide right now.
Here's a super simple way to lock this in your brain. Vision asks, where are we going? It's all about that future destination. Mission asks, why do we even exist today? It's what you do, who you do it for, and how you do it. You absolutely need both, the long-term dream and the daily drive.
Okay, so your mission explains why you exist. But why should a customer care, right? That's where the value proposition comes in. It's the essential bridge connecting your mission directly to your customers' most pressing needs. This template, this is your secret weapon, for real. It forces you to get incredibly specific. Let's try with an example. So, for parents of kids with allergies who are constantly worried about hidden ingredients, we offer a mobile app that instantly scans barcodes and flags allergens. And unlike those generic health apps, our solution is curated by actual allergists. Boom! Crystal clear, right? Okay, so we've got our vision and our foundation. But how do we actually do any of this? This next part is all about turning those big, beautiful ideas into a concrete game plan. To get things done, you need goals. But not just any goals. You need SMART goals. You've probably heard of this acronym, but it's popular for a reason. It makes sure your targets are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to your mission, and time-bound. This is what separates a vague wish from a real plan.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day, isn't it? Increase our customer base is, well, it's a hope. But the SMART goal on the right, that's a plan. You know exactly what success looks like. 500 paying customers. And you know when it needs to happen. You can actually build a strategy around that.
But hold on, it's not all about the money. A great venture, a lasting one, balances financial goals with non-financial ones. If you only focus on revenue, you seriously risk drifting away from your mission. That's why it's just as important to set goals for things like customer impact, product milestones, and even the health of your team.
Okay, we've covered the what and the why. For our final part, let's get super practical. We're going to focus on the how, a step-by-step plan to put this all together and, just as importantly, the common traps you need to avoid. Here it is, your step-by-step game plan. You start with some quiet, individual reflection. Then you come together as a team to find that alignment. From there, you draft your statements, define your value prop, and set your goals. And step 6 is critical. Communicate the plan to everyone and treat it like a living document that you revisit all the time.
And here's what to watch out for. Avoid those empty cliches like to be the best. Don't set so many goals that your team loses focus. And please, make sure your actions match your words. Nothing kills trust faster than that. Oh, and a big one. Don't neglect learning goals. Early on, proving your assumptions are right is just as valuable as hitting a sales target.
And this might just be the most important takeaway of the whole thing. This blueprint isn't some static document you write once, frame, and then forget about. It's a dynamic tool. It's alive. As you learn from your customers and the market, you will refine your mission, your value prop, and your goals. Think of it as a guide for learning, not a tablet of stone.
So there you have it, the complete blueprint, from that little spark of an idea all the way to an actionable plan for making a real impact. You have the tools. The only question left is, what future are you going to build?